welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Be sure and subscribe and click on that little bell to remind you every time I upload a new video. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is The Gentleman. This movie is rated R for very good reasons. It's an hour and 53 minutes long, and the Movie Review Mom grade that I'm giving it is a B minus. Not my cup of British tea, sad to say. Let me give you a quick nutshell overview, some tips for parents, ideas of themes that you can talk about with your friends and family if you watch this movie with them, and then some things that I liked and didn't like, as well as a few suggestions of movies that are related that you might like if you like this one. Okay, so in a quick nutshell, writer director Guy Ritchie has definitely developed his own recognizable style, which I think is fun and cool. But this newest installment of his unique perspective and crime art is not quite up to par with past films. In fact, towards the end of the dramedy, Hugh Grant's character stands in front of the movie poster for The Man from Uncle, Uncle, which I really enjoyed. And I was hoping that this fantastic cast would produce another movie kind of like that. I was really entertained, and I think it appealed to a broader audience. And so this movie was really disappointing. And I know that some people are going to love this movie. So I'm just giving you the heads up. So first of all, I love all of the actors in this film. And so I was just disappointed that the movie kind of feels like a convoluted mess. The trailer is much more entertaining than the entire film. Again, in my opinion, some people are going to say, "How could you say that? It was awesome." I'm just saying, this is how I experienced this film. The movie poster states criminal class, but I would change it to criminal crass. Spending time in this underbelly of London's crime will make you feel grungy and want to take a shower to wash off the grime. That's how I felt. Now, some quick tips for parents. Not a movie for your kids to see at all. There's profanity as well as British profanity, tons of crude comments, a zillion F bombs, and a zillion C words. Those two were the words of choice for this movie for some reason. Just a zillion filthy one liner insults. Definitely not class, lots of crass. All of the characters are criminals that are involved in drugs, tons of violence. A woman grabs a man's crotch. It's definitely not a politically correct movie. There's this disgusting vomit scene, a rape attempt, murder with lots of blood splatters, and you see lots of dead bodies. So again, rated R is very well an earned rating for this movie. Now, some themes that are worth talking about would be class divide, sort of. It's a little bit of a stretch. Crime, certainly. Friendship. And in terms of the whole crime, there's an interesting discussion about how there are different levels of integrity within the crime world, which I found interesting because it's still crime. Anyway, some things that I did like about the movie are, first of all, the opening credits are really cool and stylistic and made me just think, oh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in this movie. I was encouraged. I thought, okay, this is going to be good. And then it just kind of dropped that appeal. So the movie starts off mostly with Hugh Grant and his character, and he used to be kind of the charming British romantic lead. Long gone are those days. The last two films that I've seen him in have shown that he's a great character actor, and he's really over the top in his performance, but very, very entertaining, I thought. I love the little nuggets of movie trivia. For example, one of the characters goes to a pub and you see a Ritchie brewery van parked outside, which is actually a business that Guy Ritchie actually owns. Now, Colin Farrell is hilarious and awesome. He steals all of the scenes that he's in and is a real crowd pleaser. Um, I think people are really going to enjoy his performance. But again, it's foul mouthed and violent and all of that. There's some quick-witted dialogue, but again, remember that most of the dialogue is just completely laced with F-bombs and C words and all of that kind of stuff. Fans of Downton Abbey will get a kick out of Michelle Dockery's new accent in this movie. Then again, people who generally love Downton Abbey probably won't be watching this kind of movie, and it definitely doesn't appeal to that same demographic. Henry Golding is fairly believable as a romantic. I mean, he is believable as a romantic lead, and he's fairly believable as this new role as a gangster. Matthew McConaughey is kind of the star of the movie in that he's the leader, the king of the movie. He does a good job. He's an American in England. He kind of always has that same swagger that he has in most movies that he's in. There are some creative camera shots that I thought were interesting. And speaking of Matthew McConaughey and his character, he's the one that gives this interesting comparison between cocaine, the destroyer of worlds, as his character describes it, and the harmless marijuana that he grows and sells. He has integrity as a criminal, which I found interesting and ironic, of course. Now, some things that I didn't like is that there's so much exposition. In Act One, the first entire 25 minutes of the movie are spent telling us what's going on and giving us backstory. And I was just bored within minutes. I thought, okay, that'll be the end of it. Now let's get on to the movie. But really, it goes on for the entire movie. And I was just like, yawn. I know, again, other people are going, what? It's fantastic. Best movie ever. It's not. I'm a sucker for twists, and this movie has some, which is great, but there are so many plots in the movie that they really get tangled. And again, with all of the exposition and explaining stuff, I was just like, done, not interested. Some viewers may even find that the British accents, the various British accents, are kind of hard to understand. There's a rap song scene that seems totally random and out of place, and it kind of feels like Guy Ritchie is pandering to a younger demographic to get them to think his movies are really cool and hip and young, to get the young kids to like his movies. And there are a bunch of young kids in the movies, just a bunch of punks that drove me nuts. I didn't like them at all, and it didn't do any good for the movie, in my opinion. This movie is machismo on steroids. It is not politically correct. And then finally, the timeline jumps back and forth, which might confuse some viewers. So go to my website, moviereviewmom.com, and you can see some of the funny lines that I wrote that I could write that weren't laced with profanity. And just really quickly, I'll just recommend, obviously, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which I actually did enjoy. And then another movie that people are saying is their all-time Guy Ritchie favorite is a movie I haven't seen called Snatch. So you might want to check that out and see if you like his style and want to continue watching his movies, or have decided that maybe he is not your British cup of tea. Anyway, I hope that if you see the movie that you do enjoy it. I'd love to hear your comments below after you do see it, or what comments about what you think about Guy Ritchie's work in general. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the movie review. Talk to you later. Have fun at the movies. Bye for now.